Welcome back, guys. We are here for part 2 of these Maxpeedingrods Coilovers. At the end of the first video, went ahead and had everything set, trying to maintain a stock ride height. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Not even 2 miles after driving it, the rear settled quite a bit, and in dropping and lowering it like that, it pushed the caster, looks like, towards the back. The front stayed at a decent ride height. It looks kind of similar to where it was when I first put it on the ground, but now we have an uneven ride height. It looks terrible. It rides even worse, and it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to accomplish what I wanted to do, which was potentially just use Maxpeedingrods as a replacement. If you wanna lower it, great. This is a great alternative because in the back, I only had it spun into the cup slightly, as I did in the previous video, and it's lowered pretty well. You could probably really lower the rear. The front too, the front, there's quite a bit of gap here, and it looks like almost stock ride height, but I mean, we could go down and definitely lower it. So in the first video I mentioned, when I put on the Maxpeedingrods, the toe was off completely. You could tell just by eyeballing it when I was driving the element back and forth. Both sides were terrible. So 2 mornings later, I didn't drive the car. I just drove it about 2 miles over to my alignment shop, and we had them align it. So this is the before measurements on my element. Look at the toe in the front, like it's 2.72 driver side, 2.67 passenger side. See the little X's here? That's like showing where it's at, and it's like super far off. It was crazy. And then the toe in the rear, it looks like this one was at the passenger side was actually almost within spec, I think. It's like 0.04. This one, negative point, not even that, 0.53. I was looking at camber, and so those are the before measurements. It really threw it off, so you do have to get your element aligned. And then the after measurements, he set toe to 0, caster was 2.5 and 2.5. I'm sorry, camber, it kind of stayed the same. And then rear, all within spec. So you definitely need to get it aligned because it was terribly off if you're going to use these coilovers. And so with the element this low in the rear and this high in the front, it rides terribly. I think it's because like when you go over a bump in the front, the back is just bouncing around. It has to try catching up and work a little bit harder. I imagine if the front is lowered, it's gonna obviously create a better ride quality. It doesn't ride bad, but that bumping just from going over the front first and then the rear, it's terrible. It's really stiff, really hard. I have played around with the damper adjustments, and it didn't seem to help. So I'm not gonna run these for the long run. What I am gonna do, I'm just gonna lower it. I'm gonna drive it for probably another 2 weeks back and forth to work, just daily driving it, and see how that does. And I will actually report this in this same video. I don't want to make a third video on it. I don't see a need to do that. We're just gonna get this front lowered a little bit, try to level it out so there's maybe like an inch gap on the front. We don't want to slam it. I just want to see if I can level it out and see how it rides over the next few weeks. And that way I can give you an idea of actually how coilovers these coilovers feel on the vehicle. You know, these there's always been a good set of coilovers. I like them. I'm running them on my 2000 Civic, and I have for the last year and a half. I have some on my CRX, my track CRX at one point, and they've been great for me. I've had people contact me about some blowing out, some leaking prematurely. It seems like a lot of those issues have been taken care of. They've made a much better damper now with the T6s, and then also the T7s, which are even stiffer. But we're gonna get it lowered, we're gonna test it, and I'll report back on one last clip with how it feels after driving it for 2 weeks on a lowered suspension. All right, guys, and there was a little bit of footage of it rolling. I think this ride height actually looks really nice. It's not too low. It's not slammed. Unfortunately, it rides like a lowered vehicle. I honestly feel like it's a little too stiff from what I like. Getting a little older, and I don't really care for that feel any longer. I wanted this thing to be as comfortable as possible, and lowering it wasn't the way to do it. So just want to share my experience with you. Obviously, I get these coilovers sponsored to me by Maxpeedingrods, so for me it's just a matter of doing the labor and doing the work. But if you want a lowered vehicle, you don't mind the lowered ride quality, I think these are perfectly fine. I don't know, it feels like it bounces around a lot in the back. I went and adjusted the dampers a few times here and there, and it didn't really seem to make a huge difference. I think maybe the weight of the vehicle and everything. The tires did seem to help the ride quality when I had the smaller wheels and tires on there, when I was just using those for the time being. But it's not for me. If this is something you want to do, I think the coilovers are reasonably priced to get your element lowered. Another thing too is where we live, we have a lot of dirt roads and access roads where it's easy for us to go through. I think what I'm doing is just potentially putting the muffler and the gas tank at risk, and so that's not something I want to do. I want to be able to just drive this thing and drive it comfortably. We also have a lot of construction in our town, and sometimes getting off the road and just going through a dirt road is convenient because of the congestion we experience, and a lot of us do that here. So for me, I wanted something that I can easily do and get on and off roads, and just maybe like play around sometimes in some dirt roads here and there. I know it's only front wheel drive, but I should be okay doing something relatively simple. I don't plan on like overlanding it or doing anything hardcore, but that's my thoughts on the suspension. Great coils. I've always liked using them. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm still using them on my race car over here. It's a car I essentially just drive at the track, and they've done really well. Gonna drive this one again soon. Just keeps hanging in there, haven't any leaks, any issues with the coilovers. But I've liked them so far, and I'll continue to use them on my builds. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.